Hi, so the SNAP 2014 paper must have come as a relief to a number of students out there. We've all been waiting for the CAT results to be released. It was earlier said that they'll be released in the third week. However, the current rumors are that we should expect the results to be out somewhere in the fourth week. Thus, with so much of chaos and uncertainty in the air, it was always nice to get back into the flow of things. And SNAP 2014 must have surely come as a relief. However, the SNAP paper this year did show up and throw up certain surprises. This would be a short video uh, regarding how the paper of SNAP 2014 exactly was. So let us first start with the paper pattern. The paper pattern was quite similar to what it has been over the last few years. The QADIDS section had 40 questions, so did the English and GK sections, whereas the logical reasoning and analytical reasoning, that's the LRAR section, had 30 questions. So overall it was 150 questions, 180 marks, and it was 2 hours. So the 180 marks was again similar to what it was earlier. It was +1 and -0.25 for QADIDS, similar for English and also for GK, whereas for LRAR it was +2 and -0.5. So overall, as we always suggest, the LRAR section is something that people should probably be looking at to maximize, since the positive marks are double. However, was it the case this year? Let's see how it goes. So first of all, the VA breakup. The breakup of VA was quite similar to what it has been over the previous years. Two sets of RCs. One had 3 questions, the other 6 questions. Very easy. Not much difficulty there. The same old topics which are generally found in a SNAP paper: vocab, idioms, spellings, FIB, grammar were all there. However, the surprising thing this time was that the idioms and spellings questions, which are generally on the easy to moderate side, were quite tough this year. And even the vocab was tending towards tough. The FIB were once again easy to moderate. Grammar was also quite moderate. So a good student, we would expect him or her to probably spend about 25 to 28 minutes. And in this time period, you should probably be looking at attempting somewhere between 28 to 30 questions and getting not more than, say, about 5 or 6 incorrect. So a net score of about 22 to 23, which is something that a good student should be looking at. 22 to 23 would be quite a decent attempt. Then the QADIDS section. This was once again on similar lines to how it has been in the previous years. However, the questions here tended to be a little calculation intensive, and there were quite a few questions, about 7 to 8 questions, which would best be avoided, since they would take quite a lot of time. The breakup was again percentages, profit loss discount, time, speed, distance, clocks, averages, number system, coordinate geometry, log. So the same old questions that we expect. One thing here was in the DI pie chart. One notable thing actually is in the DI pie chart, the data given was regarding the angles, and the sum of the angles was coming out to be 420 degrees, whereas we all know generally it's 360. So this might have caused a little bit of panic among students. However, the good thing to note was that this error would have made no difference in the answers. So if you calculated it based on 420 degrees itself, your answers would be absolutely fine. So that's the only thing that was probably noteworthy here. Students should, have probably been attempting about 30 to 32 questions here in, say, about 40 minutes. And a score of somewhere around 25 to 27 would be considered very good. The LRAR section this time was also, the breakup was quite similar to what it has been in the previous years. However, the difficulty level did go up a notch. The most notable thing here was the circular arrangement question. It did turn out to be a little tougher than what is generally expected. This one. Also, the statement assumption questions. One question was easy, the second question, was not as simple as it looked. Thus, in this section, people would have required to spend some time. what they should have done is probably go through the LR section first and try maximizing this whole pack. So there were, if we can look here, about 2 in analogy, 2 in statement assumption, 2 in CR, and 1 each in syllogism and statement conclusion. These 8 questions should have surely been attempted. Whereas in the rest of the AR questions, you should be looking at attempting somewhere around 14 to 15 more. So in total, an attempt of about 22 to 23 would be quite a decent attempt, with probably not more than 3 wrong. So you should be looking at 3 to 4 wrong, that is, should be looking at somewhere around 36, to 37 probably in this section. A good student would probably be getting that much. For the GA breakup, again, the static topics were there as well as the current topics. Now, current affairs is something that if you are up to date with what is happening in the recent events and so on and so forth, then this would probably not have been that much of an issue. GK, if I look at GA overall, it was much tougher than what we generally expect. You require to remember know quite a few things when it comes to GK. About 14 questions came there. History, geography were again history, geography, economy always feature. But the most important fact is that 11 questions from current. If somebody is well versed here, then you can actually score. So I would probably say spend about 12 to 14 minutes, and you should be looking at probably attempting somewhere around 15 to 20, probably 18 to 20, getting not more than say 6 or 7 wrong. So if you get 6 wrong also, you should be looking at a score of about 10 or 11. Score of 10 or 11 should be considered a very decent score in this section. Now if you look at the overall breakup, so the time distribution which would probably have been feasible would have been 40 minutes for QA, 40 for reasoning, about 27-28 minutes for English, and the remaining time, which would be about 12-13 minutes for GK. Good attempt, again 30 to 32 in QA, getting a score of about 25 would be quite decent. Reasoning, again 20 to 22, score of about 36 would be decent. English 22 to 24 score would be quite decent, and GK also about 8 to 10. So what we look at here is a good attempt would be somewhere which would be 95 plus, and a score range which would be probably 92, 93 plus should be a very good score. And if I look at the likely cutoffs, then the likely cutoffs are 92, 93. You should surely probably fetch you an SCHMRD call, and Symbiosis Pune should be somewhere around 95 to 97. This is again for general category. For the other categories, obviously it falls proportionately. And the other colleges, so if somebody is going to score above an 80 or 85, the other colleges should not be an issue if you are from the general categories. So overall, we see that SNAP 2014 was actually on the tougher side. We are expecting the likely cutoff to go down by somewhere around 10 to 12 marks. So a score of 95 to 97 should be a good score. That's it for the SNAP analysis. All the best to everybody for the SNAP results as well as for the CAT results.